Another week, another geek. We are back at it again with another episode of the Why I'm Geek show, episode 99 to be exact, man. Super excited to get into this. Today we're going to be talking about the Little Mermaid, and I got my boy ChrisyLite in the building with me today. What's good, Brody?
You know, we actually went to the movies.
There
We
you
did
go.
it. We did it. It was actually really good. We went to an AMC this time, and
Okay.
we were impressed. So everything's good. We now got a movie theater that we're probably gonna go to for these summer movies, and I'm feeling confident about going back to the movies. So
Okay.
yeah, everything's looking up right now. How you been, G?
I've been good, just still on the Spider-Verse high, and
Oh,
just, making content, writing, doing all that stuff.
are you excited? We're at 99.
I know. I'm excited for it to be the 100th episode. I'm not really excited for the movie, just because they who should not be named is in it. But I'm enjoying the movie though. Like I've heard mixed reviews at this point, but that's for next week. That's for next
week. Yeah.
Yeah, today we're going to be talking about The Little Mermaid. Even though it came out a little while ago, I saw it when it initially first came out, and Chris saw it more recently. So, Chris, like, what was your first impression? Like, because it's more fresh on your mind. Like, what were you thinking going into this show?
Man, going into it, I really wanted to see if the songs would hit the same because there's been a weird thing with me when it comes to these Disney movies. It's just like, of course, it's nostalgia. At the end of the day, it's
Right.
going to be nostalgia. So I was just very interested to see, can these songs really translate? Are they going to be just as good as I remember? Because the last few ones, I wouldn't say they translated well.
Mm-hmm.
It was solid. It kind of reminded me like, I want to go listen to the original. So I was thinking maybe Disney, spice it up, and we're gonna have a good big production. And this time I'll feel real good about these remakes, or however you want to call them, because it's
Remaster.
yeah, like remaster.
That's kind of how I look at it. But yeah, okay, that's good. I mean, for me, I was just going, like you said, just to hear Chloe. I mean, not Chloe, Halle. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I messed up already.
turn it off. Turn it off.
My
I
fault.
can't believe
My fault.
you.
My fault, OG. My fault, OG. Look. It's because of how their before their actual like artist name that, so it's just automatically first thing come out my brain. But Halle. That's the only reason I was going, because I knew she was gonna go crazy. And I'm not the biggest like Disney princess fan. Like, I don't remember the last. Well, I guess the last one I watched was probably Moana. Does that count as a Disney princess?
Yeah.
And I watched that on a cruise, so that don't even really count for real. But it was just, it was. That's the reason I was going. Is just to hear her sing, basically. And I actually completely forgot the whole plot of The Little Mermaid, because I didn't know that Ariel had the Unspoken Rizz. Like, that was like literally the whole point of the movie was that she wasn't finna be talking. So like, as I was watching it, I was just kind of like, bruh, so we finna sit here and she not about to say nothing for the rest of the movie? Like, what? Did you remember that like as a fact, or like?
Yeah.
Okay, it must just be me, because I just was not ready for that. I mean, don't get me wrong, like Halle definitely did her thing as far as like being able to express how she was feeling, and also, we got the Mind songs as well. So between them and the birdie and the crab, Sebastian, we got all the context as far as the situation that we needed. But other than that, like, I had a bad experience at the movie theater that time when I went. I've talked about it before in the pod. Youngest was chatting the whole movie, and I had to check them. I might have to start, getting reckless in that joint, or go to the movie theater that Chris was talking about, because
Yeah.
it's like 3 times in a row, y'all, and I don't get it. But yeah, that's so. As far as like, I don't even want to say experience, but like, first impressions, like it was good. I really
You
liked it. I really
rewatched The
liked it.
Mermaid.
I know it was like I was watching it for the first time, and it's cool because, like you said, like for most of us, this is like nostalgia, but like for a lot of little kids are going, like this is their first time really seeing the Little Mermaid, probably, or even like knowing what that is type thing. So
Hmm.
it's just a cool thing to see it like circle back as far as like all of these remastered um Disney movies versus like some of them I get why they would do it. Some of them I don't get. Like I don't think we necessarily need a Tarzan remaster, because like a lot of stuff that's happening in there, like it wouldn't be as good live action because you just wouldn't be able to like animation. Like we've always said, animation looks way better than real life because you can do way more things with them. But how did you feel about just I guess the the plot of this joint? Because for me, it was a little slow. I I was in I was fighting in the joint, bro. I was in it and then I wasn't, and I was just kind of waiting for the next song, because I had Betty Boop Bop talking in my left ear to Mary, what's her name, and I just it wasn't that good for me at that point. So with the full like cohesive experience, like what was your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's way too long. I remember the original. We sat there watching it
Hmm.
and was like, "Was the original Little Mermaid short?"
Yeah.
And this one I think is 2 hours 15 minutes. Kind of
Hmm.
felt like 2 hours flat, but it just felt so long. And I remember the original Little Mermaid. She loses her voice rather quickly, so then it progresses pretty fast. To
Right.
her trying to Riz Prince Eric up with no voice.
Hmm.
But as I'm watching this one, I'm like, dang, we're slow right now. And then
Yeah.
finally, when she loses her voice, I mean, again, it's like, all right, we're gonna do some little romance, some little walking around here to the market dance thing. They added a
Hmm.
few songs, I think two. Could have been just one. I can't really remember. But yeah, you definitely felt it being way longer.
Hmm.
But I haven't seen The Little Mermaid in so long. It
Right.
just reminded me as I'm watching, I'm like, dang, this is going slow. Like, when did she get her voice taken? Like,
Hmm.
let's speed this up. So that was the only thing it just stood out immediately watching this.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess the little ship part in the beginning
Hmm.
was a little too extra. Like, we could have just
Yeah.
started off fast, like
Yeah.
show her collection. Like,
Right, right. And I didn't even know, like, bro, I must not have been paying attention while I was watching Little Mermaid, but I didn't know she was a hoarder.
yeah.
Like I didn't know like Prince Eric is like they're basically the same person, just one's on land
Oh,
and one's on
true.
water. Because like they both have the ideas of like they want to see what's out there.
Yeah.
But it's just they can't grasp it. So like that was a cool thing to see, and I agree that it was long. But I enjoy like the underwater portions of it just because they kind of expanded on you know like the palace and like all the little things that make a mermaid, and nothing too crazy, because like by the end of it, when everybody was leaving, it was going on a little voyage or whatever, a whole bunch of just mermaid and mermen just popped out of nowhere. I was just like, where was y'all at the whole movie? Like, we're just going to add this in. I was like, all right, like I guess everything made sense, but um I did like those portions. The market felt like I'm ready to see what's happening. I really like Operation, get the kiss. I like that aspect of
Oh
it, but
yeah. Oh yeah.
you know, other than that, I do think, like you said, like it did drag a little. And I was a little disappointed when it came to Ursula. Like I really thought Ursula was gonna go crazy in this joint, just because it's such like I feel like Ursula is like one of those iconic Disney villains, and I just wanted her song to go crazy.
Hmm.
And even like the animation and like the actual
Visuals of it.
visuals of it. Yeah, like from what we seen in the trailer, like that was just it. Like it wasn't really didn't really last that long. It wasn't as like epic as I thought it was gonna be. Um, but you know, and I just feel like I don't know, it just didn't hit. What do you think?
No, actually, I agree with you.
Okay,
There is something about it that, while I do think it's good,
yeah,
it just doesn't give you that epic feeling. And I'm just wondering if it's like all of these remasters or recreations of these animated classics. They None
hmm,
of them really ever feel like, wow, this is like the ultimate version of it. It's just
yeah,
like, oh, I get to see it in a different lens, and that's really cool. Definitely, some of the songs, they're good, but it's just it didn't like wow me to the point where I'm like, "Oh my god, you gotta go see the Little Mermaid."
yeah,
It just feels solid and it feels good, and you're like, "Okay." For example, since you had just like rewatched it and got freshened up again, it's like, "Okay, now I remember the Little Mermaid. I
yeah,
got the story. I'm good again."
yeah. That's facts. I feel like Halle songs were like what they were supposed to be. And just that's kind of what like just gave me energy every single time because they were
Energy.
short and they were like, to the point, but I was just like, I don't know. That what do they call it? What do they call the mermaid songs?
The Siren
Um
songs?
the siren songs. She was serenading me, bro. I ain't gonna cap. She was going crazy. I
Oh
had to add that
man.
joint to the playlist immediately. Immediately. But everybody else kind of just tried to hold their own. Essentially, that's kind of how I feel about it. Um, I feel like Sebastian's song was alright. I wasn't really a fan of Sebastian when I first saw him, like as a crab, just because it's so realistic,
Mhm.
and versus like what we saw in the 2D animation, and I just thought it looked weird. But by the time it was over, I feel like it just takes my eyes a little bit longer to adjust to what I'm seeing, especially like the new style of like real life photographic animation that Disney's been doing, where it's just like it's very off putting at first, you know, and it's just like I don't know. It's like they right there, like they got it to where it's like it looks completely real, but it's missing like that soul of it, like being like, oh, this is really Sebastian type thing. And I feel like that's kind of where I get stuck at sometimes. But I mean, I don't know. Like, what did you feel about like the like humans versus mermaid like plot debate, whatever you want to call it? We can't live in two worlds. They too different.
Yeah.
Yada
I
yada
mean,
yada.
it, it's a lot of like little Disney things about, life, like metaphors for life. Just switch it up and make it humans versus mer people.
Hmm.
But I just like the fact that a lot of it is still similar to the original. They did change up kind of how Ursula, when she gets on land,
Yeah.
uh the whole wedding scenes, it's like not in the same location and stuff like that. So
Okay.
they changed up some things, and even how it ends is entirely uh partially different than the end
Yeah.
of The Little Mermaid. But
Mm.
the whole human thing, I just find it funny how at the end the mom kind of like she was thinking one way the whole movie, then
Yeah.
after she sees
Right.
how everything ends, she's like, "Yeah, I told him to do that the whole time." I was like, "All right, moms."
Big cap. And then
Yeah.
just talking about parents, bro, like freaking Trident, has the power to grant her legs and turn her
Yeah.
back whenever he wants, but he just chooses not to and just be like that. I don't remember that being the thing, in the movie.
Dang.
And I don't remember this joint at all, bro. I ain't gonna cap to you. But like if he had the power to do that the whole time, bro, I don't see the issue as far as like, you got 7, 8 daughters, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying just go out there and lose one, but I'm just saying like
Yeah.
if you don't want her to go by herself, go with her. Like you tried it, you know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't I don't know. It's just like the plot's not plotting at that point. And then like you said, like as far as how the movie progresses from takes us a long time for Ariel to lose her voice and then she has to go on this, like, this is all in the span of like 2 3 days of
Yeah,
how
it felt like 2 in the movie. Like, it was just
yeah,
2 quick days.
of like how much time they have for her to get the kiss to break the spell and the wop. And like even like her Ursula's human form, it kind of just comes out of nowhere, and it's just like, oh, obviously, okay, I get that she has the necklace, makes sense, but I didn't get that dread. I didn't get that. Oh, she really finna go crazy, because I don't know what Ursula's real plot was. You know, because it's like once you get to training, you can do whatever you want. So you just
Yeah.
gonna make sure you kill Ariel and Eric for what? You got to Triton, just go, head out. You know, like I don't get it. And she got killed by a stick, bruh. A stick. And you like you just blocked the most powerful person in the sea with magic, but you get killed by a stick. It's just I don't know. I don't know. And I'm looking at my score for this joint, and I'm feeling like I
Ooh.
went a little too high. I think I was too high off. That siren song was just, it was hitting me, bruh.
Ooh.
So I might have to change it up. I might have to change it up. We'll see if you see what you got to say. Changes. But you know, what are your thoughts about that? Um,
So I remember I was like, I can't wait to see Ursula's final transformation because I remember as a kid her being huge,
yeah,
and in this version I like it, but it's kind of weird that they decided to go with that weird smoky face where you can't really see her face; it just looks more ominous.
cost too much money.
Um, yeah, it seemed like they just wanted to save on the money, and they
Mm-hmm.
said, "Oh, we got the effect." But it was really cool her doing making their whirlpool and all that type of stuff.
Yeah,
But like you said, some of that plot, I mean, it's one thing
Parano was
that
going crazy.
yeah, one thing that the original Disney movies always did so well were they weren't that long
Yeah.
and the story was very simple and it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't really much to like it had a serious tone, like a serious message, but it wasn't like something to like stray away from so far. So it was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, she's evil, she's trying to take the trident,
Yeah.
and then you defeat her, boom, get married, have a good day. This is the Little Mermaid. Like this is the
Mm-hmm.
story of the Little Mermaid wanting to become a human, wanting to live
Yeah.
amongst the people, and trying to break that barrier between two uh no, different people. I mean, cultures, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and but the main thing was it was short, it was
Yeah.
quick, and it was a nice, fun like story.
Mm-hmm.
When you stretch this thing out, man, like you said, maybe you start realizing some plot holes. You're like, why is it like this? Why don't you just do this? And
Mm-hmm.
like as an animated version, it just seems a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
And
Like
maybe not even a little bit better. I think it is better.
yeah, like they really like ate when they did that joint versus like kind of when you do this. I feel like when you make a remaster, you got to do something different where like it makes it more memorable than the first one. Like, cause I feel like the only thing that this one has over the first one is just vocals, you know, like, and that's just highly specialty. So it's like, other than that, like, if you don't add to the story, like, I feel like they, you know, uh, Arrow's sisters, you know, being from all like different regions and they, you know, having representation and stuff like that, that's all cool. But, you know, I was just kind of just I would just expect to see more like pushing of the boundaries of like, okay,
Yeah.
maybe, you know, Arrow doesn't fight her on the shore. Maybe maybe Ursula's getting away because she got the power now, you know, and
Yeah, it's kind of like do the
like
same stuff, but do extra stuff. Do
yeah,
add more things. Like, shoot some lightning in the sky, make it come down. Like
mm-hmm,
just anything. Disney did try to like completely redo and create its own when they did Mulan, and it did not do well at all.
I
Like
didn't
they took
watch that
out the
one.
singing and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and had just like a different type of story, similar story but different.
mm-hmm,
And that one didn't work. So I understand them trying to get back to their roots of okay, let's just do the remastered.
yeah,
But like you said, if you're gonna make it longer,
mm-hmm,
maybe make the scenes. that everyone likes so much just even better, just
Yeah.
even more flashier. Because it's good, but I just can't help but look at it and say like, oh, it's just a real life version. Like
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's
I
facts.
just can't help but think that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I feel like the things they do well in this movie is really good, but like the overarching thing of it just being like, okay, like we've had this content for how many years? Yes, you're reintroducing it to some people for the first time, but we're introducing it to them for the first time. But like, what about the people that have seen it already? Like, how are you going to make them, other than nostalgia, like want to watch this more than once? You know?
Yeah.
And I feel like the star power of it with Ursula and Ariel kind of like maybe it gets pushed further, but I don't know. I don't know. It's tricky. It's a little tricky.
Yeah. It just doesn't give me that feeling that it's amazing. It's good.
Yeah.
It's solid. But
Yeah. That's facts. Um. Dang. I don't really. That's. I mean. I guess that's it. I don't know, cause I really don't have like I don't really like when monsters get big and buys like that. So like it's when it came down to that, I was kind of already checked out. I was just kind of waiting to see how they ended up defeating her. Like I said, I ain't like that part either. But like you said, Disney movies are like short and sweet. Like especially the princess movies. Like you get the message, and then you get the visuals and the songs, and then you just move on. And I feel like they did that. So like I'm curious to see what you ranked it as, because I feel like I need to change mine now.
Oh,
I
uh-oh.
had rose colored glasses. I ain't gonna count.
Uh-oh.
What you got? What are you ranking this thing, man?
Well, before I do want to give credit to you made a really good point. There was something weird going on with Sebastian, but as the
Mm.
movie went on, it started to grow on me, like my eyes. I was like,
Yeah.
it kind of does fit. But at first when I saw him, I was like, dang, this dude is just out of place.
Yeah.
But I really liked his character. I really think his character carried a lot of the movie, which the original Little Mermaid, Sebastian is a major character. Like he does a lot. But when it was real life, especially when they do kiss the girl,
Yeah.
like you miss some of the details of them being as colorful as they are on the screen and them being like blended in the background. So like,
Hmm.
oh, you notice them, but it's just not as like vibrant as the original. But
Yeah.
yeah, shout out to those Sebastian, what's his
Scuttle.
name? Flounder and Scuttle. Scuttle is pretty solid.
Yeah.
Uh the song was okay, but it just reminds me a lot of that famous dude that made Hamilton. Like once you get a Hamilton style a song, you see it immediately. You know
Okay.
exactly how it goes. And but
Yeah.
it's just not enough for me to make me like, oh yeah, I gotta watch this version.
Hmm.
Uh, so when I think about the movie, I gotta give it a 7. I really like it.
Yeah.
I really like it, but it's just the Little Mermaid. Like,
Yeah.
it's the
That's what
same
I'm
movie,
realizing, bro. Yeah.
and it's cool, but it's longer.
Hmm.
Um, Disney is making me start to believe, all of these movies will just always be uh just an updated version. You want to see it in real life, want to see what it looks like in real life,
Yeah.
come
In
see it. But
2023. Yeah.
is it something you got to rush out to the theaters to go see? I think probably any of Disney's like newer animated movies are probably a must see.
Hmm.
Their remakes, you could probably wait till it comes out on streaming or something like that. But uh I think everyone did good. I don't think the movie's bad.
Yeah.
It's just The Little Mermaid, and if you're a Little Mermaid fan and you want a little extra, you'll like it. But for me, it's definitely a matinee type movie, and maybe get the cheapest version. And yeah, maybe I should have saw it on IMAX. I don't know. So a 7.
Okay. Okay. I respect that. I respect that. So originally I had to join the 8.5. And I literally just dropped it.
That's high.
I know. I told you this is I saw it when it first came out, you know?
Gotcha.
So like it's been like a week or so now. And like I'm looking at my notes over here and it's just like I don't know, I'm just kind of commenting on just like how it's just basically the same. Like it's a lot of ways of just saying that this is like the same, except this is just a 20 what it looks like in 2023.
Cause it is
Yeah,
like
yeah. And the songs do go crazy. And I think it's just because I haven't seen it in so long. When I saw it again, it was like it was new. But when we started talking and having the conversation, because this is the first time I really talked about it since I saw it. Maybe it's not an 8.5. Maybe it's more of a 7.5. It's not a 7 for me because it's not mid. Like for me, 7 is mid. But maybe I need to bump it down a point, because that siren song was going crazy, and I guess I got too into it. I don't know, but I feel like now, like I feel like there is more to see than to talk about. Like I feel like it's one of those things where, like you say, you just have to see it more so than like there's nothing really controversial or like topical to kind of like talk about other than just like the diversity and it looking good and sounding good and like, but the movie itself doesn't really do anything special, that makes it stand out from the one before. And I think that's really what it is. Um, yeah. And it just comes down to like when I'm talking about it right here, it's just like, oh, this is just something I realized while I was watching it. I forgot that Ariel didn't speak. That's not really a comment. You know what I'm saying? That's just more of like, like that. If you've seen the movie, that's not a big deal that she didn't speak. But for me, it was like, oh, so she going to do this whole movie and not say nothing? How's she gonna do that? And it's just something that's just like, okay, I guess, like But when you really sit down and think about it, it's just like, nah, I guess it's like 7.5, 8 maybe. Depending on how you're feeling about the songs. But yeah, not a bad movie. Not a bad movie whatsoever. But I guess that's just kind of where I stand.
yeah. It feels like a checklist, like a checkbox that they're just going through
Yeah.
all their. Let's get a whole live action catalog, and like
Right.
they're just like, let's not ruin it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put out 7s and 8s and just call it a day. Let's not try to like massively improve the movie because I feel like after Mulan they realized, okay, maybe.
Mulan came out only on streaming too, right? Or did it came out in theaters?
Yeah, I did. I
Yeah.
think that was right when the pandemic hit. So
Right. So there's
so
that.
yeah.
And
But you haven't seen that, right?
mm-mm.
Yeah,
I didn't see it
that was
because
definitely not a watch again.
it was just like all the bad press just kept me away. I was like, I don't need to see this, because I'm not like I don't need to like how can I say this like I feel like at the same time that came out, like Black Widow came out as well, and or maybe it came out after. I don't know. It was around the same time, um, and it was just like I don't really need to see a Disney princess movie. Like and they're not singing, it's live action, so I already know like what is Mushu gonna look like. You know what I'm saying? Like little things like that where it's like, do I need to see this? Probably not. Will I eventually see it? Probably, just to, do my research. And it's just is what it is. I feel like a lot of these jumps, like, especially like saying like movies like Tarzan and what else? What's another movie? A Goof. I'm just naming my favorite Disney movies now. But it's just like a lot of these jumps wouldn't really necessarily work live action that would make them different unless it was like significant,
Yeah.
But some things should just stay the way that they are, and they should have did something popping, like I don't know. I'm rambling at this point, but it's
Yeah, it's
just
just like enhancements, not
mhm.
necessarily like the like making it live action is cool, but like let's enhance it a little bit. Make
Yeah.
the characters do even more in the same realm of the storyline that we're going with,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't want to do a whole new storyline. It's just like the enhancements aren't enough. It just feels like the same story, and
Mm.
adding of song here or there, and
Yeah.
a little bit more little funnies.
Yeah.
It's
And that
just like,
doesn't make it bad. It just makes
yeah, it
it.
doesn't make it bad.
It just makes it is what it is. Like that's kind of where I'm at with it now that
Yeah.
we talked about it. But do you got anything else on it? Because
No, I hope it doesn't get a lot of hate, because it's
yeah,
like I said, it's still a good
it
movie. It's
did when it
just,
first appeared. Man, Yanks was not happy. You could,
I just really wonder, like in the future, is this gonna be like something parents like put on
mm-hmm,
over the Little Mermaid so they can hear the song still, and it's a little
right.
longer. Like maybe, I don't know. It's just, we gotta wait to see in the future how
See,
these live actions evolve.
and I feel like that's kind of where the issue lies. Is just like putting it on over. I
And
feel like
over and over.
nah, I'm saying like putting it over the Little Mermaid versus like the OG one. It shouldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna watch this instead of this one. It should more be like, oh, we can watch this one and we can watch the live action one.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's the
Ah,
attitude
yeah.
versus like, what I feel like the narrative gets pushed of like why they shouldn't do these is just because it becomes a thing of like, oh, they're trying to replace the old stuff and do all this new things, and then you put a black girl as the main character, and now everything is going topsy turvy, and youngins don't know what to do, and it's like, bruh, just because they did this don't mean that you can't go watch the Little Mermaid again. You know,
Mm,
like they pick the best person for the job, bro. Who gonna sing better than
yeah.
Halle, bro? Like let's really talk about it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like what's really good? It's like let me stop. But
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
uh yeah. That's where I kind of stand with it. It should be more a lot of things in life, man. It should be more of a yes and versus like
Yeah, that's a good way
the
to put it.
opposite. You know?
Yeah. You watch back to back so then parents don't get bored of watching the same, like Frozen 20,000 times. Like,
Right. And the catalog continues to grow. You know?
yep.
Big cash grabs. Like, now let me stop. All right.
Partially. I
Well,
partially agree.
good. Well, Chris, what you geeked about, man?
Bro, I'm geeked about getting back into streaming. I've been playing Diablo 4. I'm gonna push to this 100 this week.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
dead serious. I saw they made a post for Diablo 4 that there were 6,000 level 100s in the game on softcore, and on
Dang.
hardcore there was like 138 or something like
That were
that.
alive or just reached it?
That reached 100. So
Okay.
they
Okay.
got the little medal or whatever it is.
Yeah,
And I was
that's
like, dang,
crazy.
it's a lot of playing. I'm not gonna lie.
Chris goaded though,
But
y'all. I ain't gonna cap. You know what we
we're about
doing.
to push to 100. We got our dude set up to really just grind now. So now I'm gonna look even more tired than this as I push to 100 this week. And yeah, I'm just glad to be back on Twitch, bro. So what you
So,
geeked about this week, G?
I'm geeked about Class of 100. Oh, I said Class of 100. Class of '09. Because that's a really good show, and I finally caught up to it. And basically, what it is now is like they created an AI to basically replace the FBI and replace like people and thought to like basically make the percentage for like crime or whatever 100% essentially. And it's set in the future, past, and present. And in the future, basically now, the AI thinks that it's a person, so it's trying to protect itself from getting shut down, and it's starting to murk people. And I'm like, yo, this
Oh,
this
that
trying
sounds
going that
interesting.
trying going crazy. I ain't gonna cap because it's like they just take things to the max where you know
Yeah.
everything is kind of like automated and stuff like that. So it's just like, yo, and there's one class, the top class of the FBI in '09, only one that can stop it essentially, and it's
That actually
good.
sounds
It's
really
good.
good.
I ain't gonna count. It's good. So I'm excited for that to come out. Um, and then I think Vinland Saga is done. I watched it's like the 23rd episode. Came out today. That was good. It's so drastically different, but it's still good compared to the first season. And then yeah, I'm excited for the 100th episode, man. After the 100th episode, we're gonna take a little break for like, I don't know, maybe like two or 3 weeks. But you'll still see content dropping because we got a whole catalog of stuff that needs to go out so that, you know, y'all gonna have clips for a long time. Y'all gonna have clips for a long time. We're gonna come back strong, and then gonna continue on with like season 3 because we're kind of doing like a 50 episode thing. And I'm excited to put like 50 through 100 in the playlist because it's just like, dang, we did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we did that. So yeah, it's gonna be lit.
And we're gonna do a gym challenge in the meantime. We're going to the gym every other day. So next time you see us on this, we're gonna be swole as ever. Just big gains. Big gains.
It ain't no challenge for me. It's just a lifestyle now. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna say too much. Y'all just gonna see. I know y'all only see like collarbone, chest up. You know what I'm saying? But hey, be in the gym. That's all I got to say. We in there. But we appreciate y'all for tuning in once again. Seeing y'all in the comment section. We try to respond to everybody. Appreciate y'all for liking, subscribing. And we're gonna get the socials back too. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be another portion of it because we want to get this joint like going where it's like got enough content stacked up that we can just continue to push stuff out and, you know, build this conversation and build this family. You know what I'm saying? So we appreciate y'all tuning in for the 3rd time. That's my favorite thing to say. We're gonna holler at y'all next week, man. Y'all be easy, know the vibes. Hit the like button. Follow all social platforms on your favorite audio platforms. Yeah. See you next week. Stay geeked. Peace.
Later, y'all.